guys, today's video is all about our tips on how to cruise with Carnival Cruise Lines. Just a disclaimer, we are not sponsored by Carnival in any way.
Nope.
These are just our opinions and our tricks to help you guys with cruising if you're first time cruisers or if you just need some new tips on how to cruise right. We are 97 days away from cruising on the Carnival Vista on July 29th of this year. So we thought we'd get some of our tips and put it in a video to help you guys out. Hope this is helpful and hope you guys enjoy the video.
Before we move on to the video, if you're new to the channel, please click that subscribe button. It would mean so much to us. We're trying to reach a goal of 100 subs by the end of May. So if you guys could help us out, share this video with your fellow cruisers or anything like that, it would mean the world to us. But if you're new and you already subscribed, welcome to the channel. We're glad to have you guys here. So without further ado, let's get into it. So tip number 1 is to get to your port a day before the ship sails, just so that you have enough time to sightsee in the city that you're visiting or whatever, or that you're leaving from. And you also have enough time just in case worst thing happens. Let's say your car breaks down and you're driving to the place where you're sailing away from. You don't want to be stuck there and then have the ship leave without you. So always go a couple days before, or at least a day before, so that worst case scenario, you're always there to leave,
Tip number 2, if you want to do a shore excursion, it's highly recommended that you book before you get on the ship. That way you avoid getting stuck with a shore excursion you might not even want to do, and you have your pick of the crop ahead of time, and you might get it for a couple bucks cheaper as opposed to waiting until you get on the cruise ship.
Tip number 3 is to pack a little bit extra, and always have some extra room in your second luggage if you take more than one, just so that you have room for souvenirs and stuff like that from the ports that you visit.
And to add on to that, you want to overpack a little bit just because you're in the middle of the ocean. If you get a stain on your shirt and it won't come out, at least you have an extra shirt or extra pants if they accidentally rip or something like that. A lot of people say not to overpack, but in our experience, it's always been better to overpack a little bit. And like we said, if you take a second suitcase, make sure that there's a lot of room in there because we tend to bring a lot of gifts back for family. And it's always good that if your clothes or something doesn't fit, you always have that second piece of luggage to compensate for your overpacking. Tip number 4, order your packs of water online before you get on the ship as opposed to getting them from the onboard gift shops. We're talking about Carnival because this is the only cruise line we've ever sailed on, and Carnival doesn't allow you to bring water on anymore. So we've always just went online to the Carnival website and ordered at least 2 cases of water, and it's there, it's convenient, it's already in your room when you embark on the cruise, and it's just a lot more convenient for you guys. And I believe the water is only like $3 to $4, so that's really nothing. It's probably a better deal on the ship than even in the stores.
So tip number 5 is to bring your own pop or soda, whatever you guys like to call it. Carnival lets you guys bring in a 12 pack, and they also let every person in the room bring a 12 pack. So since me and her are sharing a room, we both get to bring our own 12 packs of soda, just so that we don't have to pay extra for other stuff. If we can make the 12 packs last throughout the week, then that's great. If not, there's also another solution that we will be talking about later.
And for those who are 21 and over and are drinkers, Carnival will actually let you bring a bottle of wine per person in your room. So I'm over 21 and he's not. I would be allowed to bring in a bottle of wine in my carry-on. Carnival will charge a corking fee if you guys want to drink the wine in the dining room for dinner, but it's just better to take your own corkscrew and just drink your wine in the room.
Tip number 7 is to bring your own watch or just try to keep track of time so that you're on ship time and not the time that you're used to, I guess. Um, the time does change when you leave and stuff, so you might be an hour ahead or whatever. Um, so it does change. Keep that in mind. So take a watch. Always have a watch on you or something, and change it to the ship's time so that you're never late for any of the events that are going on, or you're not late to the ports.
Tip number 8 is to pack some earplugs if you are sensitive to loud noises. We've never experienced any loud noises or anything besides maybe kids running around. Um, but we highly suggest if you're sensitive to noise, pack those earplugs for a more enjoyable experience while you guys sleep or nap or whatever you guys do.
So tip number 9 is to not be late to the ship whenever you're at a port. Um, the ship does leave typically 15 minutes after somebody's called late. So if you're not there on time, the ship will leave you, and you're pretty much SOL.
If you are late, you will have to find your way to the next port via plane, helicopter, however. And obviously, you will have to pay to find your way to the next port. Just that you are back on the boat maybe an hour to a half hour before the boat leaves, just to be safe than sorry. Tip number 10 is to pack your like a nicer outfit, your makeup, toothbrush, all that good stuff in your carry-on bag the day you embark on the ship, just in case your luggage doesn't arrive before dinner. So at least you have that nice outfit and your hair products and all that stuff so that you could at least go to dinner looking nice.
Tip number 11 is to try not to carry a credit card when you're on the ports. You should always carry cash, just in case you don't want to lose your card and then that's all your money on it. So carry cash and try to keep it smaller bills like $20 bills, and below that, just so that you don't have a hard time trying to break 100 or anything like that. So always carry cash when you're on ports.
Tip number 12 is to tip your room stewards at least $20 on the first day of the cruise, just so that you could ensure a more pleasurable experience with you guys. They'll stay on top of making sure that your ice bucket is full, that maybe you might have extra towels or things like that. Um, you don't have to, but that's something that we're gonna be doing. We haven't done it yet, but we've been hearing about it. So give them that extra 20 bucks. They'll appreciate it and they'll probably treat you like royalty.
So tip number 13 is to keep at least 20 bucks in ones for tips when you order room service. You don't have to tip the room service waiters, but it's always nice to, those people work really hard and they do their best to make sure that you feel at home and you're getting treated right. So it's always good to tip them at least a couple bucks every time you order room service. Um, and I'm pretty sure they'll really appreciate that money.
Tip number 14 is to pack a power strip because in the rooms there's typically only 2 to 3 outlets in the room, and a power strip is just going to be way more convenient. Like us, we're going to be taking camera equipment and our cell phone chargers and things like that. So a power strip is always going to come in handy, but make sure that it is not a power surge protector. Make sure it is a power strip. If it's a surge protector, the room stewards or security will actually confiscate it from you and keep it until the end of the cruise, and then you'll get it back. So make sure it's a power strip.
Tip number 15 is to bring a little bottle of air freshener. The inside cabins tend to get a little smelly. I don't know why. They are small and there's not really that much ventilation for smells to get out. So you should always carry at least a small bottle of air freshener so that your room doesn't stink.
Tip number 16 is to bring a trash bag, scented ones preferred, or a laundry bag for your dirty clothes. The scented trash bags help keep in any smells. I don't know why. maybe it's the sea air or something, typically will make your clothes smell a little weird. Um, so that you could just throw all of your dirty clothes into that trash bag, throw it into the closet, and you're good to go.
Tip number 17 is to bring seasickness pills just in case you guys are seasick or do get seasick. Not everybody does get seasick. I don't. I don't get any kind of motion sickness or anything like that, but she does. So it's always good to have just in case you don't feel good and you're feeling nauseous and stuff like that. So always take some seasickness pills or motion sickness pills, just in case that happens.
Number 18 is to download the Carnival Hub app. Like we said, this is just for Carnival. I don't know if any other um, cruise lines offer this, but Carnival does. That Carnival Hub app will actually give you the fun times. It'll give you a countdown before you go on to your cruise. As I said, the fun times will be there, so you'll have it in a digital version as opposed to the paper version they give you every night. Um, there is a cool feature on it. If you pay $5 per person, you actually get to text whoever has the Carnival Hub app. So say that since we're sharing a room and if we both get the Carnival Hub app and pay $5, I could text him and tell him, hey, I'm going to be on the Lido deck, come look for me, or it's time to get ready for dinner, things like that. So if parents have kids, I highly suggest that and I can't wait to use it.
Tip number 19 is to remember that you guys will be charged gratuity at the end of the cruise. Gratuity is tips for like the waiters and stuff like that. Um, Typically it's $12 a night. So if you're on an 8-day cruise like we are, that's around $96. But you do have the choice to pay that at the beginning before you sail, just so that you have it out of the way. We tend to do that for the cruises that we go on, just so that we don't have to pay it at the end. And also a reminder, this is not optional. This is a mandatory payment that you have to make. It's the way that Carnival, I guess, it's their way of paying their staff. So unfortunately, you do have to pay, guys.
Tip number 20. If you're in an inside cabin like we are, and we typically just get the inside cabins, they are pitch black. When all the lights are off, there's no TV, it is pitch black. So, what we recommend is that you turn on the TV to the live feed of the bridge at night, mute the TV so that it's kind of like a alarm clock in a way.
And it's also a nightlight, just in case you guys need to get up in the middle of the night and walk around or something, go to the bathroom, whatever you need to do.
Yeah, so that you'll know that it's still nighttime or it's morning and you need to start getting ready for the day. So it's cool. Since an inside cabin doesn't have a window, that's kind of a window to see what the outside is looking like.
Tip number 21 is to decorate your room, not only to make it look cool and make it stand out, but to also help you find your room a lot quicker. A lot of people tend to put balloons or stickers or magnets on their doors just so that they can find their rooms easier at night, because all the doors are the same. There are some like decorations that are a little bit different, but for the most part, everything looks the same. So make your room stand out and try to look a little different.
Tip number 22 is to order anything and everything at dinner. Now, they don't give you a limit on how many entrees or appetizers you could order, so if there's something on the menu that you really love, you could order 3 of that specific meal. Or if at dessert you're having a hard time picking between if you want the chocolate melting cake or something different, you could get whatever you guys want. And usually everything is for free. There are some things that are gonna uh, cost you a little bit of money, but you could always just go and choose something that's free for you guys.
Tip number 23 is to set up a wake up call the night before you guys port. Pretty much what a wake up call is, you call the guest services and they'll have somebody call you in the morning at whatever time you ask them to. and they'll say like, "Wake up, Anthony," or something like that. They'll say something to wake you up, just so that you know to wake up. They're pretty much like your personal alarm clock. So it's always cool to set that up so that you're not late and that you're up bright and early to enjoy the day.
Tip number 24 is to bring your own laundry soap, fabric softener, things like that, because Carnival does offer a laundry area so that if you guys need to do a load of laundry, there it is, and you guys have your own fabric softener and things like that. We tend to just use the Tide Pods, throw them in, and our clothes are nice and clean because we've heard people that have let Carnival do their laundry and they said that their clothes didn't smell clean or they didn't smell good. So at least you know that you're using the brand that you like and it's to your.
Preferences.
There you go.
Tip number 25 is to pack some post-it notes or sticky notes. Um, just so that whoever you're rooming with knows where you are if you leave somewhere. So let's say that I was to go out and explore the ship or whatever, she would know where I'm at if we didn't have the Carnival Hub app. So just write down like, hey, I'm gonna be on the fourth floor. You can find me there, and then write down the time that you're leaving, just so that they know. It's also like another kind of safety precaution, just so that you know that your kid or your siblings or your parents, whatever, that you know that they're safe. Sticky notes are also good to use for telling your room stewards what you need, such as some more ice in your bucket or a new towel if you don't have one, so that they know what to give you and when to give it to you.
Tip number 26 is to bring a cup with a lid. Um, as people that have sailed on Carnival ships, you guys know that the cups that they give in the Lido deck for drinks are pretty small. So that way you have your own cup with the lid, you could throw ice in it and get as much juice as you want, and you don't have to use those tiny little cups.
Tip number 27 is to pack a Bluetooth speaker or stereo. I don't know. People call it different things. But pack a Bluetooth speaker just in case you want to listen to your own music and you don't have to listen to it on your phone's crappy audio. It's always fun to jam out to your own music when you're getting dressed or whatever, or you're trying to show off, your music or whatever. So pack your own Bluetooth speaker.
Number 28 is to pack Clorox wipes and hand sanitizer, things of that nature. Carnival does a pretty good job of making sure that the rooms are squeaky clean, but if you have a little OCD, you could use those Clorox wipes to make sure that everything's sanitized. Hand sanitizer is good for the Lido deck because there's so many people touching the utensils and things like that, so it's good to have it. Pour it on your hand and you're good to go because who likes to be sick while on vacation?
Number 29 is to bring your own snorkel gear. Whenever you go on ports, they will have like a little snorkel thing. But like me, I get really grossed out with that stuff because you don't know how many people have put their mouths on it, on the snorkels. And if they have pink eye or something, they put their eyeballs on the goggles. So you don't want none of that. You don't want to get,
Ringworm on your
yeah, or
feet.
anything bad like that. So take your own snorkel gear. Walmart sells them for around $20. Pretty cheap, pretty good. So you could just pack those in your bags, and not have to worry about paying extra money to go snorkeling and stuff when you have your own equipment, and you don't have to share with anybody either, and you don't have a time limit also.
Last but not least, probably the most important thing is tip number 30. Never lose this card. This right here is basically your credit card. This is your room key. This is the card that is going to get you in and out of the ship. This is your, like, this is the most important thing that you guys are going to have on the ship. So this right here, it actually tells you a lot of things. It'll tell you what time your dinner is at. So this is an old card that we had from like one of our first cruises. We were sitting in the Sapphire Upper. We had 8:15 dinner. It tells you what table you're at, your folio number, your muster station, just in case like you guys need to evacuate the ship, you know where your muster station is and all of that good stuff. So don't ever lose this.
Also, if you want, you can buy lanyards for the card, um, just to keep it around your neck or in your pocket, just so that you don't lose it. A lot of lanyards come with like little slots you could stick it in. So with the old cards that Carnival had, you would have to take your card up to the guest services and ask them to punch a hole in it so that you can stick it onto your lanyard. But now in the new Carnival ships, they actually already have a hole punched out for you on your card already, so that you don't have to do that, and that you always have your card on you at all times. Like she said, this is the most important thing that you guys can have on the ship. So don't ever lose that if you guys are planning on sailing.
And one more addition to that, this right here is a bottomless bubbles sticker. So if you guys drink a lot of soda, maybe like more than 2 or 3 a day, it's always good to get this little sticker right here, and you just go to the bartender or whatever and show them that you have the bottomless bubbles card, and you could get as many sodas as you guys want. They do run a little bit pricey for a lot of people. Typically on a 8-day cruise, it might run you about $100, maybe a little bit less than that, but it is pretty much like $100. Um, but it's well worth it because if you just go to the bar to get a soda, typically they run about $4 a can, so it kind of pays for itself, and you could get as many sodas as you want.
And also, those sodas also do count for your dinner. Um, During dinner, you can't order soda unless you have that card or you want to pay for it. So it's always good to get the card or the sticker, I mean, um, just so that you have like some soda at dinner. You don't have to drink the water or whatever. I don't know. It's all up to you guys. If you guys want to pay for that, you can. If not, they have free drinks like juice and stuff like that. Um, so you're not left out in the dust with just drinking water.
And that's going to do it for this video. Hope this was helpful for you guys. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any more questions on any tips you guys might need, leave them in the comments below. Make sure that you follow us on our Instagram page right here. Follow us on our Instagram page. You could get a hold of us there for tips or anything like that.
We also do live streams on our Instagram page every weekend, so it's pretty cool to interact with us and stuff like that. So make sure you follow us on Instagram. And if you guys haven't already, please click that subscribe button and also click that notification bell. It notifies you every single time we make a new video. On the lookout for some Carnival vlogs. They will be up in about 4 months. We sail in 3 months, so it'll take some time to edit all those videos. Gonna be vlogging for 8 days, so stay tuned for those. We hope you guys are still with us by the time we sail, and love you. Keep your head up.
Keep your heart strong.
Bless up.
You know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that and that ain't you. You're better than that.